Hi y'all, today we'll be looking at Backstreets. This is the fourth track off of Bruce Springsteen's masterpiece 1975 album Born to Run. So I found lots of things on the internet related to the chords and more of the rhythm parts of this song, but there's actually a lot of little lead licks and layers that you can hear throughout the track, particularly on the album version, which is what I'll be focusing on. So I'm going to do my best to show you how to play a lot of those leads and little tiny details of this really epic and multi-section song, but I will also go through all the chords and all the sections. So the song isn't that difficult, actually. It's more just knowing all the parts of it, and there's lots of chords. So really, if you know a lot of your basic open chords, you can play 90% of this song from a rhythm guitar standpoint. The leads aren't too bad either, so let's jump into it. I'm in standard tuning here. Bruce plays lead on really all of this song, and so it's not Little Steven playing the licks on the album version and certainly on live versions. So I'll show you some variations and things like that too. But let's jump into it. So in the intro of the song, Roy Bittan is doing his really awesome, cool piano piece, right? And on the recording, I hear what sounds like this. Sorry, volume would help. Here we go. I hear that. So that's the 12th fret on the G string, the 10th fret on the B and the high E, hammer on from the 10th fret of the B to the 12th fret of the B. The song is really based around a G chord. So when Roy is playing in G, on the album version you can hear Bruce play that cool little guitar lick. And he plays that twice. So he plays it, and there's like a long pause before another guitar part comes in. Roy keeps doing his piano thing. When he comes back to G, Bruce plays again. And then right after he does that, he goes up here and he plays this. You're almost outlining a G bar chord way up here at the 15th fret root. So you slide up to the 16th fret on the G string, 15 B, 15 high E, hammer on from 15 to 17 on the B, and pick that 17th fret again. So you can hear him play that around the 30-second mark of the album's version of the song. Now, that is really the intro. When I'm considering the main riff is what is played next. So I'll turn on my distortion pedal and play that for you. Okay, so we start the song, as we start most sections of the song, on a G chord. And the main riff, goes like this. So that's 3 on the low E, the 2nd fret on the A, and I hear a little bit, it's not a bend, it's more of, I guess, a little bit of vibrato on the note. You just tug the note just a little bit, right? Compared to it's. Then you go to the open D string, open G, 2nd fret on the D. So one more time. Okay, now you play the low E open, the top of an E minor chord, the nice upstroke. Okay, now that's the first, I'll call it the first half of the riff. Whether it's the first half or not, that doesn't really matter. The point is, let's call that the first half of the riff. The second half of the riff, it's kind of up to you how you want to play it. Bruce plays it different ways live, and I think even on the album, throughout the song, he's changing up how he's playing it. So on the album, he kind of just lets it ring, lets that E minor ring open, and he kind of goes like this before switching back to G. So nice, like really quick little strums. They kind of mirror Max Weinberg's really awesome, actually maybe Max Weinberg's best drum parts in Bruce's entire discography. A lot of them I think are in this song. It's just phenomenal drumming. As Max is going boo doo boo doo boo, right? He's going with those cool little tom fills. You can kind of mirror that by playing almost bouncing off of that drum sound and playing it to the E minor by going right? You can hear the drums. You can kind of mirror the drums by strumming it like that. So I like to do that. I think it's cool. It definitely requires a lot of listening to really get that timing and that feel of it down. But a lot of the song really does require a lot of timing and a lot of feel. Anyway, so really up to you, to your choice there. Here's what more likely than not Bruce is actually playing on the recording, and also in live versions he plays something like this. So he goes from, that's one variation, before going back to G, open 2, kind of hammer it on the D string, then the open G string, gets you right back into that nice strum, that really big sounding G chord. And one more variation he plays, definitely in a live setting. If you listen to like the version from Live 75-85, which was recorded at the Roxy, the famous concert of his in 1978, on my birthday. Not that I was born yet, but on my birthday, 1978, he played it like this, and a lot of that tour, he played it like this. Right? So it's 2 open, 2 open. Oops. You can mix and match it however you want, but ultimately those are the riffs that Bruce is playing. So that is the main riff. Now we get into verse 1. So I'll go through all the chords really quickly. You're going to kind of have to rewind and pause it as needed. But really, if you are an intermediate guitar player, you should be able to pick up these chords and these rhythms rather quickly. So it starts on G, E minor, G again, E minor again, G again, E minor, D, C. That's verse 1. Jump right in the chorus. Here we go. G, C, G, C, okay, so that is the chorus. Let's go back and play that chorus again. So I'll kind of sing along with it. This should be interesting. I'll kind of sing along with it just so you have an idea of where the chords are. So it goes, hiding on the back streets, hiding on the back streets, with a love so hard and filled with defeat, run for our lives at night on the back streets. Okay, so that's G, C, G, C, G, A minor 7, which is that's the same as a C chord. Just take off the 3rd fret of the A, take that off, and then a really quick G minor, C. Okay, so again, rewind that, watch it, listen to the recording a bunch of times like I did, and make sure you have the timing and the chords to that section down. Okay, we go back to the main riff again after that first chorus, and we get into verse 2, which is, for the most part, very similar to verse 1, but I'll just play through it again. So, dancing in the dark, that's G minor, G minor. Huddled in our cars, that's a D. Waiting for the bells to ring, it's a C. Okay, so what he does here is he walks down from the C to the A minor. So once again, from the top. We're desperate lovers parked beside the last of the Duke Street Kings. Right? D, C. It's a nice little detailed little touch that I like to add there. Kind of mirroring Gary Talent, the bassist part. 3-2 open on the A, going to a nice A minor strum. Set us loose, C, from everything, that's a D, to go back in the chorus. Oops, sorry. On the back street, same as before, G, C. Okay, the rest is the same. So, again, chorus 2 is the same as chorus 1. Verse 2 has that little variation I just showed you where it walks down to A minor. Otherwise, it follows a similar pattern. Okay, so now, after that second chorus, it's the same main riff again, and then it just kind of explodes into the bridge section, which sort of shifts, from a musical standpoint, it kind of shifts the song. It kind of builds to this climax, right? With that eventually is the guitar solo. So anyway, the bridge starts on A. Endless juke joints and Valentine drag, right? A, F sharp minor, A, F sharp minor one last time, E, A, D, D, E, A, E. Okay, I'm going to stop there. We're almost to the end of the bridge. You can rewind and watch all those chords again. If you're an intermediate guitar player, those chords should be, you should know them like the back of your hand. The part should be pretty simple. Listen to the track to get the rhythm and the timing down. Okay, so this is kind of the last part of the bridge where it goes to the F sharp minor. After that last E chord that I just showed you, it goes. Okay, so it's really building and building here. So you, after that. F sharp minor, you go from a B sus 4, which is just adding the 5th fret of the B string and taking it off to get back to a regular B major bar chord. Okay, so you play that and then you go. That's a D sus 4, adding the 3rd fret on the high E string, taking it off to get to a regular D major chord. So really build up, focus on the strumming there, and listen to how the band builds up when you're practicing that part. I listened to the song a bunch of times, and just to get the feel right, you want to be kind of a note earlier, right? The verses are more loose strumming, kind of lightly strummed actually. Right? This part you're going like. right? Big difference. You're strumming along, you're rocking out. So something to pay attention to. You get the idea. Something to pay attention to. Watch the intensity with which you play. Okay, so now we are into the guitar solo. Now, what I'm going to show you here, as I kind of mentioned earlier, is I'm focusing on the album version. So, there's a bunch of different ways he plays it live. He does not play it the same way twice in a live setting. So, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to play the solo really slowly for you, and you can go back, just for time's sake, you can go back and watch it again. If you're an intermediate guitar player, you shouldn't have any issues figuring out a lot of these licks. They're actually pretty straightforward. It's mostly an E minor pentatonic, which is usually the first, soloing scale a lot of people learn. So it's not bad. Let's go through it though. It sounds like this. Okay, let me play it one more time just to make sure that you guys can see and hear all of those parts. Okay, here we go. Really nice solo. It sounds great and it fits the song really well without being too flashy. He does get a little bit more flashy when he plays it live. Like on the live 75-85 version, he comes up to the higher position of the scale much earlier in the solo. So he kind of goes... He's playing way up here faster. You can listen to that recording for the exact licks, but the bottom line is he's playing that actually a couple times instead of playing it in this position. But I watched him playing it from the Hammersmith version from 1975, which is just a few months after the album came out, and I know for a fact Bruce is playing it in this position. Because you could also play it up here, but it sounds better to my ear and more like the recording if you play it in this position, and then to gradually work your way up here. Again, listen to it, use your own judgment. The way I just showed you how to play is, I'm 95% sure that's accurate. So, give a listen and see what you think of the solo, but make sure you rewind it, get the timing just right, because it's kind of a dramatic, important solo, and it's crucial to nailing this song. Okay, so that's the solo. Now we get into verse 3. It's identical to verse 2, right? Where I showed you that variation earlier. We had that walk down A minor. That also has that in there in verse 3. The only difference is at the end of verse 3 when it goes, and after all this time, that's E minor, you find you're just like all the rest, B minor, stranded in the park and forced to confess to. So it's E minor, B minor, C, D sus4, D. Okay. Into yet another chorus. Exactly the same as it was played earlier. The chorus doesn't change throughout the song. So if you know the first chorus, you know all the choruses. Okay, so after this chorus, the band goes away. You kind of enter this breakdown section. I think it's about maybe 5 minutes into the song. It's a long song. It's about 5 minutes into the song where it kind of breaks down. It's just Bruce hiding on the back streets. It's that part. I hear this riff very clearly in this part of the song. It sounds like this. Let's try that again. Much better. On the back street, running on the back streets, right? It's in there. You can hear it in the mix if you listen to it really closely. And I think Little Stevie actually might be the one playing it live, because it's kind of hard to sing that and play at the same time. But on the recording, it's probably Bruce playing that. But anyways, that riff is in there, and it goes 2nd fret on the D string, open D, sorry, on and off at the 2nd fret, D string, that's the open G, 2nd fret G, slide up to 4, 2, open. Over and over again, it does that as the band's coming back in and the song is building back up. Now the rhythm guitar part for that section of the song is just hiding on the back streets, hiding on the back streets, just G, C. That's it. So eventually you get to that build where it's going, we are hiding on the back streets tonight, right? When it builds up to that point, it's just like earlier, D sus4 to a D major. Hiding on the back streets. If Bruce is really belting out the lyrics at this point, it's really, again, it's a release, an emotional climax of the song. So, hiding on the back streets, hiding on the back streets, hiding on the back streets, hiding on the back streets. Just GC over and over again. And then eventually it gets to where Bruce says, oh, you can kind of hear on the album, he kind of almost like calls to the band. That's your cue where it goes to a D chord. It goes. And now there's a little riff that I'm sure Gary Tallon is playing, but I hear a guitar playing this too, I think, on the recording. So it goes. Just a really cool little detail if you want to play this song like, if you want to play it like how I play it, which is I try to make it as close to recording as possible, add that in there because it sounds really good and helps build up the song. So it goes 3, 2, open on the A string, 3 on the low E, open 2 on the A string, strum a C chord, right back in. Just like earlier, a D sus4 to a D, G, C again, D sus4 to D major again. This is at the very end of the song, G, D, and it goes 3, 2, open, 3, oops, sorry, 2nd fret, low E. Okay, so one more time, let's go through that kind of outro section. So it's after he says, we go hiding on the back streets tonight, right? It's that really fist-pumping part of the song. It's hiding on the back streets, hiding on the back streets, hiding on the back streets. You get it, right? Very end of the song goes 3, 2, open. That's 2 now on the low E string. It's an F sharp note. End the song by strumming on G. So it goes. that's how the song ends. So obviously you're going to have to go back and watch that again. It's actually very hard to explain all of these parts simply because it's way easier to just listen to it yourself and figure out the timing. But all of the chords of the song are in this video. I just went over everything you need to know. So again, hit the rewind button, and I'm sure if you're even if you're a beginner guitar player, you can play 90% of these chords because they're almost all open chords, and pretty basic sort of beginner open chords that you might learn when you're just starting to play. So have fun with this one. It's always been a favorite of mine. I won't go too deep into my analysis of the song and the album here because time is obviously always an issue, and I just don't want to ramble on forever because I love rambling on about my analysis of songs, and obviously I'm a huge Springsteen fan. I love talking about that in general, but to keep it short, I like this song because it's kind of, well, I think of Born to Run in two different kind of, I guess, parts, but there's kind of the four corners of Born to Run, I call it, which are Thunder Road, Backstreets, Born to Run, and Jungleland. Very easily the four best songs in the album. And all the songs are great. It's a classic album, but those four have always been the ones that stood out to me, and I think maybe the public in general. But I think Thunder Road starts the album on such a really hopeful note, and Backstreets is kind of maybe a harsh dose of reality. And then the funny thing is it comes back up, right, with another hopeful song in Born to Run. And then the end of the album with Jungleland, it kind of digs in you a little bit. And it's, again, a little bit of a dose of reality. And the album is all about hopes and dreams and about friendship and about maybe one long summer night, all of these events that could happen. And it's really the great American rock record for that reason. The lyrics on this song, Backstreets, are some of Bruce's best. They're about friendship and even more than friendship, I guess you could say companionship. And I've always thought it was extremely interesting how the gender is totally ambiguous of, me and Terry became friends. It could be a woman, a potential romantic partner for Bruce that he's, he's narrating and talking about. Or it could be, Terry could be a man. And whether it's platonic or romantic relationship with the man, we'll probably never know. But it's an absolutely fascinating song regardless, about two people who really care about each other. They love each other and they hate each other at the same time. That's always the feel I got from this song. And that's what, to me, makes it great. It's about when you love someone so much that you also hate them, for similar reasons, but you can't live without that person. And again, it's about the ups and downs of life and that hope before it kind of comes crashing down and reality enters the scene and enters the picture again, right? And this song and this album in general is so cinematic. I mean, this song could be a movie if you just read the lyrics. I mean, they're so vivid and they really tell the story and paint a picture so clearly in my brain. It's amazing. But anyways, it's a great track. It's probably in my top 3 Springsteen songs. I've been listening to Springsteen almost my entire life. So thanks, Dad, for that. But these are all the guitar parts to Backstreets. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned something. Again, I hope I explained a lot of the little tiny details that maybe you couldn't find in the tab or in chords or whatever your sheet music even maybe that's out on the internet or that you know of. Because I've played the song many times, and I think just adding those little details really take it to the next level. Because there's not always a lot of guitar really prominent in the song, and there's just a few little main riffs and a guitar solo. So listen to the feel of the E Street Band and playing along with it many, many times like I did to get the feel right. Like I said, like adding in the main riff, kind of echoing the drum parts, and just strumming through the chords versus picking through in the verses maybe. All those things just make it sound really, really good. And if you can nail the feel of this song, because it's a very emotional song, if you can nail the feel of it, it really takes it to that next level, and it's a fun one to play. So thanks for watching. Please leave any comments or feedback below and hit that subscribe button. There will be more Springsteen lessons on the way. Again, I'll be focusing on Springsteen songs and just songs in general that are maybe a little bit harder to find on the interwebs. So thank you for watching, and hope you enjoyed it.